This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Artificial intelligence has its drawbacks and can't always be trusted, but it is being used to help increase safety in hospitals, and the province says it's working. A pilot project tested AI scanners in some Manitoba hospitals and detected hundreds of suspected weapons being brought in. As CBC's Mike Arsenault reports, the nurses union says it's a start, but not enough.
Knives, hatchets, and hammers are just some of the more than 1,500 items that were detected at Health Sciences Centre last year. They were found using artificial intelligence scanners, installed at entrances as part of a 2025 pilot project. Health Minister Uzoma Azuguara says the scanners are a proactive safety measure.
It shows us the importance of taking those measures here at Health Sciences Centre, that they're working. It also helps inform us in terms of what else we can do to keep people safe in our healthcare environments.
Azuguara says the scanners flag a broad range of potential weapons. Some of the 1,500 items seized were things like nail files and syringes. Thursday, the province and Shared Health introduced more safety measures for hospitals, one being the Safe app for staff.
It will take you straight to security number, so you can activate security. You don't need to find a phone in the facility or an intercom at a panic alarm to be able to access security to notify them of any concern that you have.
The province also hired more institutional safety officers. Last year, HSC was grey-listed by the nurses union, discouraging workers from taking jobs there because of safety concerns. Union President Darlene Jackson says these new measures are a step in the right direction, but most of them were implemented after incidents.
It's not like government or the employers said, hey, we need to keep our staff safer, let's do this. Everything that's been done is reactive to either an incredibly significant incident that has garnered public attention, an arbitrator has said you must do this, or grey listing.
Azuguara says there's still more work to do.
And to keep taking steps, building layer on layer on layer of safety and security to make sure that healthcare workers feel safe at the job and patients are safe when they're receiving care.
Jackson says the union has made a lot of recommendations to improve safety, and it wants to see a firm commitment to those changes before the grey listing at HSC is lifted. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
New partners have come forward to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into Manitoba's largest nickel mine. A deal announced today aims to keep the mine in Thompson running, with plans to expand. CBC's Eric Westhaver has more on the deal.
Thursday was a good day in Thompson, Manitoba. Vale, the company that owns the city's nickel mine, has entered into a partnership with 3 other groups, including the Canada Growth Fund. Toronto-based X0 will partner with the fund, New York-based Orion Resource Partners, and Vale to invest in the mine. Up to $280 million in investment is part of the deal. There aren't any job cuts expected. In fact, the new owners say they plan to double production in the next 5 years and hire more staff. The community was worried last year when Vale announced it was holding a strategic review of its operations. Many thought it would sell or even close the mine. We spoke with United Steelworkers local president Warren Lukey. He said the deal is good for the workers.
A lot of people are starting to wonder what they should do if the mine life doesn't extend here. They got to make some decisions whether to stay, whether to start looking for another job. So with this announcement, there's a promise to go and do the development work that'll see the deeper ore body getting mined, which means work for everybody.
Thompson Mayor Colleen Smook said that this is good news for the community and the North.
Peace of mind, stability. We know that we have the nickel, we know we have the product here. It was just to get a company coming to work with us so that they could get that ore out of the ground.
The deal is not fully done yet, but it is expected to be done by the end of this year. Eric Westhaver, CBC News, Flin Flon.
And more positive news for Manitoba's North. Ottawa is taking another step toward a potential expansion of the Port of Churchill. The federal and provincial governments and other partners are launching a market-sounding study on how road, rail, and port improvements might attract exporters. Premier Wab Kinew says the study expects to hear from up to 70 private sector companies.
It's clear that there is private sector interest, and so I think for us to start putting our ducks in a row on the environment, partially why we did the National Marine Conservation Area study on opportunities. That's why we're doing the market sounding now. Again, what level of public sector investment is needed to unlock private sector dollars? That's why we're doing the icebreaker study. So there's a lot of good things here.
The study is expected to be completed by the end of March. For the third day, former Winnipeg Chief Administrative Officer Phil Schiegel was questioned at an inquiry into Winnipeg's police headquarters. Schiegel said the fallout from the project hurt his family and made him social enemy number one. CBC's Bartley Kivas is covering the inquiry. And Bartley, what did we hear from Schiegel on his final day of testimony?
Well, Schiegel says he feels like he's being pushed out of the city by the fallout from the Police HQ project. That project was delayed, finished over budget, and it was subject to audits, RCMP investigation for 5 years, and civil lawsuits, including one that concluded that Schiegel took a $327,000 bribe from Arbik Babakanians of Caspian Construction, which was a contractor on the project. Schiegel said his bank wouldn't do business with him after that.
I've gone through a lot of emotional stages through this, from denial to acceptance and everything in between. But I'm a big boy. I brought it on. I take full responsibility, and I understand the ramifications. The part that really bothers me is, well, there's a lot of parts, but the main part is my family. It's been really hard over the last 16 years to have a last name Schiegel.
So Bartley, as we said, this was Schiegel's last day testifying. What else did he have to say?
Well, Schiegel said again he did not take a bribe for Babakanians. He said money that he and former Mayor Sam Cates received from the contractor was for Arizona land. Now, hours later, Inquiry Counsel Heather Leonoff asked Babakanians why Babakanians had no documentation for the land that Babakanians said he bought. Babakanians testified he didn't know when he first saw a handwritten agreement about it. Babakanians said he isn't sure which of his companies own the land.
You still don't know who owns the land. Okay.
I know we own it.
Somebody owns it. You, one of your companies, not sure. One of your family businesses. You'll figure that out one day.
One day, once this thing is over.
A Manitoba court called the Arizona land deal a concoction to cover up a bribe. Schiegel told the inquiry that court made a decision based on property valuations he provided, but were wrong. Now, Schiegel said he was in a dark place in his life when he provided that information in a deposition. Court records from Scottsdale, Arizona show that in 2023, Schiegel pleaded guilty to driving under the influence of alcohol. Schiegel said he doesn't drink anymore. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Bartley Kivas. The mother of a man accused of killing 5 people in a drug house shooting 2 years ago testified at his trial today. Mary Felix wiped away tears as she testified at the trial of her son, Jamie Felix. She told court she contacted him online in the days after the Langside Street shooting in November 2023 and turned those messages over to police. Jamie was arrested days later. He's pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of second-degree murder. His mom also told court her son served in the Army Reserves and attended college before the shooting, but struggled with drugs and a condition that caused seizures. The trial is expected to last a month. A fully French private school is opening its doors in Winnipeg for the first time next fall. The new school is called Langside, and it's set to open at the Morrow Gospel Church on St. Anne's Road. Langside is part of an international network of schools made up of roughly 550 schools across the world. Its founder says lessons at the school will follow both the Manitoba and French national curriculum. The school will offer classes from kindergarten to grade 6 at a cost of $10,000 to $12,000 a student. All right, well, coming up, U.S. threats of annexation and economic ruin are having an impact on Canadians. What a recent poll shows about our relationship with our neighbors to the south. We'll have more on that after the break. We already know issues like the cost of groceries or rising housing prices are giving Canadians grief. New research suggests another factor: the constant threats and insults coming from the Trump administration, and the way the global international order is rapidly changing is leading to real anxiety. Karen Pauls tells us more.
Canada lives because of the United States.
Prime Minister Carney in Canada caved to President Trump.
Why don't you just join our country, become the 51st state?
My Canadian heart just got ripped apart.
Lily Wexu is a French-Canadian originally from Montreal.
Step into the shadows and brave universal.
But now working and living in Los Angeles as a bilingual voice actress. She's feeling helpless and scared when she hears the Trump administration threatening annexation and economic ruin.
Any talk of assaulting my country in any way, whether it's economic or territorially, I mean, I could cry right now.
She's not the only one struggling. A recent poll shows 4 out of 5 Canadians are feeling more fear than hope about the Canada-US relationship in the year ahead. Canadians were asked if they feel Trump will pursue more military operations, like in Venezuela, or if they feel that was an isolated incident. 3/4 say they expect more to come.
We're in a world now where the superpowers are just trying to get more. We're just live in a world where I think none of us are going to be safe.
People in the north have been watching the U.S. target Greenland. Some, like Titus Alulu, say they're worried about northern sovereignty. Inuit in Canada would be impacted, he says. If you look at Alaska, it's an American state. And if Greenland were to become an American state, Canada is right in the middle. Then there are newcomers who know what happens when threats become reality.
You have to move somewhere else to stay safe.
Yaroslav Zhovner, his wife and 3 children moved from Ukraine to Winnipeg in 2022. They chose Canada because it was safe. But now, he says, he's hearing similarities between threats from the Trump administration and what Russian President Vladimir Putin was saying ahead of the invasion and annexation of the Crimean Peninsula in 2014 and the invasion of Ukraine in 2022.
Now we can see what's happened.
Zhovner says his wife feels a lot of anxiety and his children have questions. All he can do is tell them they're safe.
We try to do as best as we can and keep working, keep living.
It feels really vulnerable.
Carolyn Clausen says those are valid feelings that can feel even worse if someone has already experienced violation, disrespect, and lack of consent.
There's always something to be fearful about in our families and in our neighborhoods, but nowadays there's this extra layer of global threat that is new to many of us. So for people who have experienced global conflict in their neighborhood and then came here for safety, this can be a very difficult time.
While it's important to stay informed and understand how the threats and insecurity impacts people, Clausen also recommends managing news and social media consumption, finding people or a community for support.
We are wired for connection, and we need each other like we need food, water, and oxygen. And when we share our distress, we are able to manage it better.
Lily Wexu says she's practicing self-care, eating well, doing yoga, and limiting her screen time. Still, she worries for loved ones in Canada and fears the potential of referendums on sovereignty in Alberta and Quebec could only make things worse.
I'm definitely concerned with people who want to separate from that right now because we need to come together as Canadians. A lot of bad things can happen when a population is divided, so this is not the time to be divided.
Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
For the first time in 400 years, a senior member of the royal family was put under arrest. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, was later released with no charge but remains under investigation, suspected of misconduct while in public office.
One of the core principles in our system is that everybody is equal under the law and nobody is above the law. And it is really important that that is applied across the board.
He was arrested at the King's Retreat in Sandringham, which is where he is living. He is suspected of sharing confidential trade information with Jeffrey Epstein while he was Britain's special envoy for international trade. His brother, the King, says authorities, quote, have our wholehearted support and cooperation. All right, Riley's in now. And Riley, you were keeping an eye on that storm that we thought we were going to be getting here in Winnipeg. Some other areas did get hit with lots of snow, though.
Well, we'll talk snowfall totals in just a moment, but first maybe a bit of a palate cleanse. I have a weather photo for you guys. This was taken before that snow moved through. This is a picture of the city. This is from St. James. Vivian taking this picture of the icy trees. Thank you for sending this picture in. I'd love to see what your corner of the province looks like. You can always send your pics to talkback@cbc.ca, where I will be eagerly awaiting those. Okay, let's take a look at temperatures through the afternoon. Winnipeg still onto the warm side of some of that air from that area of low pressure that pushed through yesterday. -5 through the afternoon at the airport. -6 through Portage, Morden, Winkler, and some cooler air starting to push into the west. And this is what will push eastward into Manitoba and into northwestern Ontario as we get closer to the weekend. So temperatures more like these in Winnipeg, for example, as we get into Saturday, and certainly by the time we get into Sunday. For now, though, we are looking at temperatures at least for the next bit staying close to that seasonal mark. All right, talking snowfall totals. So I was talking a little bit yesterday about how the system kind of shifted itself a little bit further west with that main axis of snow. That, combined with some of those warmer temperatures we saw pre-dawn yesterday, actually limited how much snow we were able to get in Winnipeg. So in Winnipeg, I've left it off the map simply because some parts of the city got about a trace of snow, others around 5 centimeters. Very unscientific, but my car last night had about 8 centimeters on it. So that gives you a sense of that variability within the city, how much snow can fall even within, you know, the perimeter highway, for example. 7 centimeters in Argyle, but closer to 30 through Portage, Morden, Winkler, Miami, into the Brandon region, closer to that 15 centimeter mark. So that just gives you a sense of how far west some of that snow pushed, as expected, as we've got throughout the day yesterday. And we're still seeing some of the impact from that as we headed through the day today, through the later afternoon hours. A few light flurries, some periods of light snow through the Red River Valley and parts of the Interlake, as expected. And this will linger with us even as we get into the morning hours tomorrow. So looking at that on Futurecast, yes, the system is kind of stuck over the northern Great Lakes right now. So we'll still be under the influence of this area of low pressure as we get through at least the next 12, likely the next 18 hours or so, with some flurry activity through parts of eastern Manitoba. We'll see some of that scattered flurry activity into at least the morning hours tomorrow through the Red River Valley. And then you're seeing some of this in retrograde here as it pushes back into northeastern parts of the province. This is all the result of that same system that pushed through southwest Manitoba yesterday. So still even into Saturday morning having a bit of an influence on parts of the province. I mean, no real major accumulations in northern Manitoba to come, but certainly I do expect some light snow as we get into the morning hours on Saturday. Before we get high pressure in place, things stay breezy, but this will start to clear things up as we get into sort of that Sunday, Monday time frame at this point. So snow to come, trace to maybe a couple of centimeters out of what's falling right now in parts of southern Manitoba, but certainly 2 to 4 centimeters not out of the question in parts of northern Manitoba. This 10 that you see in Shamattawa, probably a little bit on the warm side, or a little bit on the high side, I should say, but do expect a little bit more snow in northern Manitoba as we head into Saturday. So tonight in Winnipeg, looking at scattered flurries continuing. Northwest wind stays a bit on the breezy side as we head through the night into the morning, so that could mean poor visibility as we head into the morning tomorrow. -10 by the afternoon, a mainly cloudy sky in Winnipeg, and temperatures really across the province looking close to -15 as we get through the afternoon hours tomorrow. And Brittany, we are looking at your long-range forecast and things cooling down as we get through the next couple of days.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, we will get to the women's hockey game in just a few minutes, but the Canadian men's curling team is now guaranteed either a silver or gold medal.
Yeah, lock it right on it. It's perfect. Very nice, lock up.
Brad Jacobs and his team put the hammer to Norway in the semi-final, winning 5-4 in extra ends. They head to the gold medal final match against Great Britain on Saturday. And earlier, Canada's women's curling team clinched a berth in the Olympic semi-finals after defeating South Korea 10-7. Rachel Homan and her teammates will be back on the ice Friday to play Sweden for a spot in either the gold medal final or the bronze medal game. And coming up, a heartbreaking loss for the Canadian women's hockey team at the Winter Olympics today. But there is a silver lining. We'll have more on that when we come back.
Okay, let's have a look at your dog walking forecast now. And you know, we're at the point in winter where I think a lot of us, Sally included, probably tired of being cooped up inside with the weather. I mean, dress for it. We are looking at things staying below seasonal. Thank you, Josephine and Bernie, for sending this picture in. 15 years old, still loves her belly rubs. That's the way to live. We're looking at things remaining breezy, maybe some scattered flurries in the morning tomorrow. -10 by the afternoon in Winnipeg, and we'll see temperatures really sliding in your 7-day forecast as we head into the weekend here, back to below seasonal temperatures. So maybe this is our third winter. I'm not quite sure how we're keeping track of this at this point, but -14 through Monday, periods of light snow into Tuesday, and maybe a few flurries into Thursday.
All right, Riley, it was a heartbreaker this afternoon for the
Yes.
Canada women's hockey team at the Olympics. We were all watching, losing 2-1 to their powerhouse American rivals in the final in overtime.
And Keller alone through two, a chance in the backhand, she scores! Megan Keller, the golden goal for USA!
Oh, that moment, a crushing blow for the Canadian women. Canada held the lead for most of the game after a first period shorthanded goal.
But with just 2 minutes left in the game, the U.S. tied things up, forcing an overtime frame. The pain obvious among the Canadians, who are the defending Olympic champs. These two teams each have faced each other in the last 7 Olympic finals. 5 of those games, by the way, going to overtime. Of course, we just said it, not the outcome many were hoping for during that gold medal game.
But a good effort.
Yes.
And at one student watch party, it wasn't all about the medal, it was about the message. You can see it. Student athletes at the Rink Academy gathered to watch today's game. It's also where Olympian Seth Jarvis previously attended.
Between the men's and women's teams, there are 5 Manitobans who are competing just in Olympic hockey. And for those watching, it brings hope they could one day be there too.
Yes, it's a big dream. I want to play there when I grow up, yeah.
I feel like I could maybe do it one day if I put in the work and just keep going.
I think it provides them with a role model, something to look up to and something to strive towards. The Youth Olympics is coming up in a couple of years, so that's a goal that's very real for some of these kids. So I think just having those people that they can look up to and that they have a personal connection with makes a huge difference in their lives.
And you know what? It was an incredible effort by the women's team. And you know, silver, not so bad.
Not so bad. Men's hockey tomorrow.
Yes.
Semis.
We will be watching.
On CBC.
Have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.